What's up, bro? Uh-oh. I'm not hearing anything.
Yeah, I know. I gotta unmute myself.
Oh, there you go.
I was wolfing down dinner, man. It's like 6 o'clock my time. So
Oh my gosh. What's going on, everybody? Welcome to Terrahash Tuesday.
what's going on, everybody? Thank you
I'm
for
in, I'm
joining
in,
us tonight. You feeling all right, man?
I'm tired. I'm so tired.
Are you drinking a cup of regular coffee?
No, it's soda.
Oh, okay.
Oh, man, I'm exhausted, bro. Oh my God, I'm so tired.
Well, thank you everyone for tuning in today. I know there was a popular subject for Mr. Chump Change, as well as the Kingsmen I met with earlier were asking me, and I had no idea. I've been out doing stuff today, but there was a firmware update for Ledger. Now, my Ledger that I have, which is an S Plus, I have it on the original firmware, the 1.1, and it works just fine. I have no plans to change it unless they force me, right? So you don't have to update the firmware, number one. Number two, this Ledger recover feature, whatever the heck you want to call it. I know some people see it as a bad thing. I see it as both, right? One, it's going to help people who forget seed phrases, forget passwords, and who get locked out of their wallets. Don't know who that happens to. All right.
Who that
Those people are like, man, why do they make it so complicated to get in these damn things, right? So I understand it, right? It's for the everyday guy, right? This way you could tie your identity to it. So I do understand, because I guarantee you Ledger gets like a bajillion emails a day saying, hey man, I got 4 Bitcoin. I'm locked out of my wallet. What can you guys do for me? And they're like, yeah, go get effed. That's what they say, because there's nothing they can do about it, right? So
for the record, I didn't lock myself out of this. Locked myself out of the Oxys QT wallet, which Andy trolled me on the video we just did together. I'm like, thanks. Like, you know, I just
okay. Well, hold on. Now, I didn't say you locked yourself out of the Ledger, but yeah, I might have implied something.
I know you did. It's okay. It's all right though, because there's nothing I can do about it.
Thank you for the super chat, Network Bits. He's got to like stir the pot. We've only been live for
30 seconds.
Yeah. Okay. Like 5 minutes. He wants to talk politics already. So.
Oh man, I am like, I think I've been up like 24 hours. And then I was like, all right, I'm going to take a nap before I go on stream. Woke up like 30 minutes ago and I'm just like, ugh.
Oh, I happened to call him too at 8. Oh, yeah, 8 o'clock his time.
I was like, yeah, bro, push it to 9, man, please. I just need to sleep a few hours. It's brutal, man. It's brutal.
So with that other part of the Ledger is how they're going to encrypt it onto the device and stuff like that. That is where the back door could possibly happen, right? Now, this is where people need to take a little extra precaution. Number one, do not leave your Ledger device ever connected to your computer if you're not using it. Don't do that. Number two, I believe now I don't have an X, but I believe the Ledger Nano X is Bluetooth, right? Do you have the X, Hawk? Or I have the S Plus.
No, I have the this is the S. Hold on,
or is that just the S? Or
I can't. You know what? Does it say on it? I don't even remember, dude. I had 2 of them. Somebody bought me this.
The cheaper one is going to be the S, and they plan on discontinuing support for that soon. And then the S Plus is what just came out, and the X has been out for quite some time. That's their bigger one that they've had out for a while. So the X though can do Bluetooth. So my only concern is if you're keeping it with you, right? You know what I mean? Somebody could maybe get some information that way because it is Bluetooth. Yeah. So see, I prefer the Nano S because it's just a straight hardline connection. And hey, I literally have it in a drawer. I just used it like today for like the first time in like I don't even know how many months. So I just plug it in, use it real quick, unplug it, toss it in the drawer, forget about it. It's even there.
If a lot of people had a lot of thoughts today on the Ledger thing. And honestly, I kind of understand why Ledger did it. I know this was a topic today during Trump's stream because I stopped in there to say what's up. I think Yeti was in there and Patrick Guyan were in there, and a lot of people just like security and all this other stuff. I don't know. What's so funny? What are you laughing at? What? Give me a complex. What is it?
It's look at the StreamYard.
Oh, really? What'd you do? You threatened to throw them in the ocean?
No,
They've been okay, actually.
I told him, because he was giving me a hard time in there, I'll make sure to take extra special care of them.
Oh yeah, the Pran asked me to flick off his L3 the other day, and I say, hey man, it's customer wants what customer gets. Anyway, yeah, there's a lot of talk about it. I mean, here's the thing: like a lot of people are like, oh, Ledger they're doing this, they're doing that, they're security, backdoor, and all this other stuff. And Yeti made some good points, and so did Chump, and so did Patrick Guyan. No, nothing against that at all. However, from a business standpoint, a lot of people are saying, well, why not just create another device, right? That has the the support, the feature, excuse me, right? And I said, well, if you look at it from a business perspective, right? Let's just say you got a warehouse filled with like millions of these, right? And they still got to be sold, which I'm sure they have at least a few 100,000 in stock, right? I mean, there's millions of people across the world that would want this. You're going to go spend the money, the R&D, and the time to make another device.
Mass produce it? Yeah, it's going to cost you hundreds of millions of dollars, yeah.
Right. So if you're a company, they're going to be thinking, okay, look, this is a one-time buy for most people, right? Every 4 years, right? Give or take. I think they said the shelf life was about 4 years. Okay, 4 years, a company can go bankrupt, right? I think that's fair enough to say. I mean, you sell one product, you sell it enough times. If you don't make any more money, you're gonna go bankrupt, right? So companies have to constantly reinvent themselves. And they're probably thinking, okay, look, we're gonna charge for it. There's a service with it, right? They're charging for it? I think they're charging for it, right? Like a subscription for backing up your stuff.
I have the Ledger here. Let me show you the actuals. Let me share my window here. Oh man, dang it! I'm gonna have to share the whole screen, so now I'm gonna have to move the StreamYard. I'm gonna have to move that screen over to a different monitor. Give me 1 minute.
Mass Boost says you can use the same hardware, throw a new skin on it, give it a new firmware. It's no big deal. Granted, Stefan Cicero says better get used to no sleep. No, I'm used to it. I'm just like woke up 30 minutes ago. I'm trying to, I gotta wind up the crank.
So one is as I want everyone to see is it says soft launch exclusively for the X only. That means the S Plus will not be affected by this, not yet, right? And number two, this you don't have to use it,
right?
You don't have to use it. So it's just like if you're not going to use it, who the F cares?
Right. That was a topic as well. Like now. Bacon, Eggs, and Hash made a good point. He says their target customer isn't crypto miners.
Right.
I mean, crypto miners could be maybe 5 to 10% of their customer base, right? Because everybody here knows not your keys, not your crypto. So hopefully everybody's got some sort of cold storage put away. And I understand, the average Joe is not thinking of, oh, where am I need to write down my seed phrase and then they're not like us where we get crazy and we laminate it and bury it in 3 different places. The seed phrase. These people don't care, But Chump did make a point, and he says, look, that if it's a firmware upgrade for the device, but it's
right, but you have to toggle the feature to
right,
turn
but that means
that
they're all capable of it, though, right? Now is it really okay? So if it's a firmware device, right? If it's a firmware upgrade, that means all devices are capable of it, which means that is it something that could be turned on in the background? That was the question today. Sorry, I'm
well. So look, if it was once again, if this is me, this is why I didn't go with the X. I was thinking of the X, but this is the problem with people in ledgers. Okay, and I know why you like your SafePal and all that other stuff, right? Because you can now look. I'm not trying to talk bad about the SafePal, but what's the point of the ledger? What is the point of it? It is to store away your crypto for long-term uses. So that way you're not taking it out to exchange it all the time. You're not taking it out to move it. It's there for almost, it's like semi permanent, right? It's there
Right.
for long periods of time. If you want something to put something in, use Zelcore, right? Use something like that if you're going to move it around a little bit.
Right.
That's
Right.
not the purpose of the Ledger wallet. Not the purpose. So,
Um,
and that's why
retro.
I didn't go with the X as well, because look, people can, this is a way that they could get into the device, but didn't mean to cut you off. Slow talk.
No, it's fine. No,
Slow
sorry.
talk.
No, it's fine. Retro Mike makes a good point. He says, look, everybody's going to have a different perception. Don't get upset if you don't agree. Perception and thought. Listen, yeah, of course. Like, personally, I haven't had a bad experience with this. I don't use this. Somebody did give it. Sorry, somebody did get it for me, but I use the Safe Pal. And I took Mr. Rondi. Big shout out to Rondi. Thanks again for the Safe Pal, my brother. Um, you know, I mean, I get it. And Chump makes a point, and Chump is right. The fact that they can just rip the phrase out and click a button is the issue. You know what I mean? Like, they can click a button, they can get the seed phrase. I mean, that's a problem. I feel.
Okay,
You
well,
know what I mean?
so that's coming down to another issue, which comes down to like security, right? You know
Mhm.
what I'm saying? Which comes down to like when I posted my video today about, keep your rig safe, somebody messaged me literally this morning, like 10 minutes after the video launched, and said that their rigs were compromised when they're mining Caspa. So, but the interesting part is though, is even though he changed some of the settings and he reflashed Hive, it did it again, which means that they're on his personal computer, right?
Oh, say back up. I'm so sorry. Say this one more time. Somebody got their account compromised. Who was it?
Uh, they asked not to be named,
Oh, okay. Okay,
obviously.
sorry. Yeah, right. Okay. But what happened now? I'm sorry. Say it one more time.
So do you remember what happened to Brandon Coin?
Yes.
The same thing happened to him because he didn't change his rigs password, right? And his Caspa wasn't mining to his wallet anymore, even though the flight sheet stated that it was.
Oh, wow. So they went to the back end. Yeah, they went in the back end and changed.
But here's the issue though: is he put a fresh new image of Hive in, and it did it again, even though he did that. And this is what happened is because not only is his rig compromised, everything on his network is now compromised. Every computer is now compromised. So it comes down to network security is what it's really going to come down to. Because if you're afraid if someone's going to toggle your switch on your ledger, right? Then that's going to come down to network security and key loggers and all that other stuff, you know what I mean? And opening up emails, with phishing and stuff like that. You got to be vigilant in this day and age, you know what I mean?
So what would you do in that case? I mean, someone's on your network, they got your network. Would you just go to your ISP, request a new IP address, or have them change it, or
no, because if they're on your personal computer, as soon as you turn it back on, they'll just be right back on it. Because look, he has a dynamic IP, and he rebooted his router to get a new IP, and they were still on it again.
Right.
So in that case, you got to do, like, to me, I'm doing a whole new SSD. I'm doing a brand new Windows install. I'm throwing everything out and starting over again.
Right.
There's ways you can clean it off, but I would just take the extreme measure because that's just me. I'm paranoid.
Well, it's funny because Patrick Guyan was talking about, like, changing an SSID from outside someone's house if you really want to get in there. There's ways to do it. Wi-Fi connections are not 100% secure, even with a password. You know what I mean? A password is just a very, very thin layer of protection, in my opinion. Which is why, like, I'm happy, like, my house, I don't really need Wi-Fi in my house because I have the Cat 5e outlets around in every room. It's worth the investment, especially if you're running stuff out of your house. I mean, you're worried about network security and all the Wi-Fi stuff. It's, I get it. Changing, but see, that here's the thing though. Like, shouldn't just a question, right? Shouldn't Hive, if something changes in the back end, right? Shouldn't the front end of Hive say anything? Like, think of it like
no. Hive has no security measures for you. Okay, no
That's,
security.
I mean, my
measures.
opinion, they shouldn't they have something?
Okay, well, look, I guess it's you pay for the service, right? You pay for the service.
Right.
You would think that there would be some better security measures, but I mean, they can't make like you have to go in and change the password for your SSH.
Right.
So, I mean, maybe they could change it to like a default password and then it'll just be like a 25, character strong password instead of user and one. You know what I mean? That's stupid. You know what I mean? That's just like it should just default it to something until you go in there and then should prompt you to change it, right? To whatever the hell you want to change it to.
I know as an extra security measure at Terra, we write this down. We automatically do that for clients. We write down all the rig stuff. So just in case someone does happen to get on the network, I know we change them as it's just an extra layer, and we're always constantly monitoring. But I mean, you got to be careful, man. I mean, it's like you said, it's like getting in your bank account. Somebody once they're in there, they're in there. And then if they get in your network, it could be bad. King, if you don't mind, I'm going to put on some music on the background here for us. I have it on my computer. And I can do it through here.
Okay. Yeah, I don't care. Like he doesn't like the silence on my streams.
Yeah, I'm sorry. It's like I feel like I'm in detention. So
good. That's how it should be.
That's how it should be.
Oh man. Yeah, Geek of all trades, it's like any device you have on your network is a vulnerability. So this is the day and age that we wanted all this technology, but with all this technology does come risk.
Let me know if you guys can hear the music, because I did switch my input. You hear it, King?
Yeah, I hear it.
In the background.
I could hear it in my headphones.
Sweet. So, yeah. I mean, hey, hot button topics, right?
It's a good time to upgrade network security. It's a good time to change your rig passwords, right? This is the bear market. There shouldn't be a lot happening right now, right? When the bull run comes back, those phishing scams, all the bots in YouTube, it's just going to be full blast again. So right now is a really good time to beefing up security right now and protect yourself.
I think with AI now becoming more and more, in the game, and more people are going to have access to it. I think we're going to see a lot more. We're going to see a lot more intrusions on people's networks, their wallets. I mean, it's going to be like a war.
Yeah.
I mean, people are going to be breaking into all kinds of stuff. So make sure everybody's got to make sure that they have your stuff. DJ Minds, what's up, dude? Good to see you. He said, what did he say? He goes, y'all see the new Tesla robot update getting closer to performing basic tasks around the home. He is so excited about not having to do that. Like, DJ, I love you, man. God, he just wants to. If I hit the lottery, bro, I'm gonna buy you one. I promise.
I don't need a robot. I'll just hire a Joker miner to come clean my house.
He goes, Geek of all trades goes, I would pay for a robot to edit my videos. Pretty soon, AI will be able to do that, man. That'd be cool, wouldn't it? Having an AI program that could just edit your videos. From an audio engineering standpoint, when you mix records and songs for people, right? You got to get the levels right. This is why all the songs that we listen to sound good. AI is going to replace that career. I was talking to it with a buddy of mine who's very popular, who won't be named just because of his privacy, but he was telling me, he's like, dude, it's crazy. He goes, the record companies are investing in AI audio engineers. He goes, it's gonna replace 90% of the entire industry that works behind a board. You know what I mean? It's insane. DJ Mine says that Hawk clean your GPUs for you, build rigs for you, change thermals. Oh my god,
dude, that's the fun part, though. Come on, man. Come on. Well, I appreciate you boys down there, palletizing my Octominers, man. It looked beautiful. I love it, man.
Bro, I was powerlifting those things. Bro, I was like, shoot, thumb, clean, thumb. It was like an assembly line. It was easy. I gotta tell you though, just the one rig though, the 3070 Ti rig that we packed up, man, it was way to GPUs, dude. I'm telling you, there was like no space, bro. Like I couldn't put I'm like, how the hell am I supposed to pack this thing? So I ended up getting a thinner one and just kind of shoving it in between each GPU. It's what we did when we packed them up. So
yeah, those are all for the Win 3 3070 Ti's. Those are the big boy GPUs. Dude, I'm gonna miss EVGA, man. They are.
Yeah,
now
they're
look,
good
I'm
cards.
I'm a Team Red guy, but when I buy Team Green, man, I buy EVGA. So that's just my brand that I buy. So now I have to buy brands like Zeus and MSI and PNY now. So
Overboard Tech says the 3070 Ti I bought from U-Hawk was tight too. It's the same thing. It's the same. It's like those cards are like, I mean, man, like all up in each other's space in that rig. Are we doing a viewer call in, King, or are we just?
we could, yeah, if you want to, man. I don't mind.
You want to put the link in if you guys want to call in. Hobbyist Miner, what's up, man? You know who hasn't actually called in is the Hobbyist. Well, Panda too, but we're done trying to beat that dead horse.
I mentioned it to him again today.
Did you really?
Yeah.
He's got to call in one time. I think the last time I live streamed with Panda, we gave away a GPU. That was for my 1,000 subscribers. Yeah, Panda helped me get to 1,000 subscribers, and what a nice guy. Yeah, come on, Hobbyist, call in, man.
We already talked about the ledgers, and then there's the new KS3 from Bitmain, right? Is that actually on? Is that on their site officially? I haven't watched any YouTube today.
Let me see. I think so, man. I've been running around. Let me see. Let's
somebody.
Oh yeah, look, it's the top search thing on Google. Bitmain KS3. Wow.
Yeah, but is there actually anything on the website though for them?
Let's see.
There's a picture of this. There's like some kind of firmware. So is it just in the support section then for firmware downloads?
Here, I'll share it on the. Did you put it on the screen?
I'm looking at the firmware downloads real quick. Okay, there you go. KS3. Yeah, here. Let me get it up.
I mean, Rabid Mining said that if you were to plug that machine in right now, it's $3,000 a day. That's crazy. We always knew it was a matter of time before Bitmain got their filthy hands on.
All it is just a firmware package that you can't even see yet. So where do you see the details of it? This is what Panda clipped too. All I seen was his thumbnail. I didn't watch it, but there is no K heavy hash or anything. There's nothing for sale yet.
DJ Mine says I'd pre-order one if it was 10K, not 20K. 150%.
Man, really?
Yeah, it says check Bitmain's Twitter. Okay.
Okay. I'm not a Twitter expert here.
Oh, look what song came out. Yeah. Every time I hear this, man, I just see a bunch of 22s in the chat.
All right. Coming soon. Guess the price to win a $10,000 coupon, which means it's definitely more than $10,000 if they're giving you a coupon.
Is that on? That's on the Twitter.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So it looks like between May 16th, 10 a.m. to actually today till the 19th is guess the price, and then flash sale deposit. Oh, so they're taking deposits on the 19th, which is Friday, right? I'm pretty sure it's Friday. Whoa. Yep, Friday. Rush to purchase only for deposit paid customer balances on the 26th, and then distribution on the 27th.
83,000. That's insane. It's not going to be that much money. 83 grand.
It's
36,000.
Hold on. Let's go to Mind the ASIC, right? Mind the ASIC.
That's crazy, man. That's just insane. Caspa's, look, I had this question, a couple weeks ago, and
oh no, it won't be on there. Okay, so let's go to
me and Son of a Tech talked about it, about how like the emission schedule for Caspa is now accelerated, right? Because all this, I don't think they expected all this hash rate. No, it's not.
Oh no, it is. It is.
Yeah, it's definitely ahead of schedule. And it's, when Panda bought that Ice River, right? Excuse me, I'm sorry. Panda didn't buy the Ice River. When Panda got the Ice River, it was at 61% Caspa mined. And then like a week later, it was a total of it jumped 3% in a week. I want to know what the total amount of Caspa, what their total is now. I mean, it was 64. It went from 61 to 64% in a week. I want to see what it is now. It's crazy to me. Geek Vault Trace says their coupons can only be used toward up to 1/3 of one machine. If you think about it that way, it's going to cost at least 30,000. Yeah, maybe.
Okay, yeah, I got the right amount of zeros in there. I was just making sure. And it's what, 3188? We'll just call it 3200 watts for 8.3 terahash. Okay, whoa, holy crap! You're making $2,700 a day at 8 cents.
Yeah, Rabbit put up like over $3,000 earlier on his live stream. I was like, is that a typo?
Holy smokes! Nope, there it is.
Typo.
Okay, so these things are just gonna destroy the hash rate. GPU miners, you could say goodbye. Well, okay, goodbye for now until there's price appreciation. If there's price appreciation,
I think Caspa would honestly have to get into like a double-digit number for it to even be worth it. Like,
yeah,
you got to be like close to. I mean,
oh, man, dude,
Ethereum had ASICs, right? Ethereum had ASICs, a substantial amount of ASICs, and it was still GPU mineable. But what price does Caspa have to be for GPU miners for it to be worth it? Right now they're what, 2 cents?
I mean, but look, Ethereum prices were like at $1,400, $1,200. Like, we're talking pennies. We're talking pennies right now.
I know, but it's a little different the way that their system is designed. What is it going to be for?
It's going to depend on how many of these they produce. I'm expecting they're going to sell a lot by this profitability. They said 30 ASIC max per customers. This is a huge gamble. Even with the L9 coming out, I would still buy an L7. That's how much of a gamble this is right now. Like,
right. I want to see, since they announced this, if the hash rate is increased at all, because we all know, they're testing those units. Let's see. I want to see. Caspa. Oh, hash rate's down actually.
I think they're at 1.12 petahash. At least that's what One to Mine says. But
I'm looking at miningpoolstats.stream to say exactly 1 petahash on the network hash rate's 1.09.
I think GPUs and FPGAs are going to start coming off, but I mean, that's a lot of money. Panda, when are you gonna get one of these? All right, you Caspa whale, you.
So Nerdbeast says Hawk Crypto Mining, the CAS dev said that very soon 80% coins would have been mined by GPUs. Oh, okay. I mean, then what? Then what? Then what's going to happen? Okay, right. You're still going to get rewards for, transactions and stuff, 100%, because you got to process them, right? But then what? The rewards are going to dip significantly. There's no other way around it.
Panda suggests between 30 and 60,000. I mean, according to this profitability, now you realize that once they put 1,000 of these machines up, it's not going to be that anymore, right? It will not even be close.
I'm sorry, Mr. Geek of All Trades, you are correct. The total network hash rate is 2.96 petahash. You're right. These two numbers, a miningpoolstats.stream, it's deceiving. You have to add the two numbers together, and it's in the parentheses on the second one. You're right. But still, it's still down, though. You can see the trend. The trend is aiming down a little bit.
Hold on, Hog. You asked, you shall receive.
What we got? Who is it?
We got it. We have a guest. You asked, you shall receive.
Who is it?
What?
There he
I
is.
heard you say my name 3 times. You said my name 3 times and spun around, so I showed up. Here I am.
Your ears are burning. What's up,
like
Ralph?
Beetlejuice.
Like Beetlejuice, that's right. You know, only the young 80s kids will get that reference, so I appreciate that, King. 100%.
There you go.
So,
There you go.
boys talking about Caspa.
Yeah, we're just touching on it. We're a quick hobbyist. Do you have a Ledger device? And if you do, what do you think about what happened today? I wanted to know your opinion.
So I do have a Ledger. That's kind of my, I have Zelcore and Exodus and boatloads of core wallets, and I do have Ledger. And I saw it out there, and maybe I don't know all the info regarding it, and please correct me if I'm wrong, but my understanding is it requires an update to your current software, and it's an opt-in choice. Is that correct from my understanding?
Yes.
So
yes.
for all these Karens that are, going nuts here, it's like, guys, you got to opt in for it. So if you don't like it, don't opt in. Am I missing something? Like,
Oh God.
it doesn't seem like rocket science, right?
I like the Karen. I like the Karen comment.
Here's my question though. Since you have to opt into it, right? Does it mean that all the devices are capable of it, and can they do it in the background? That's what the question was today.
Sure. And I can see that 100%. I mean, it is not. You got to look at the situation too. The same day this gets announced, you got the SEC putting pressure on Coinbase again. You got Europe going ahead and putting some things in place for pretty much all, countrywide KYC. So it's like, all right, all of a sudden, all in one day, what are the chances? You know what I mean? Like, I get it. I think Ledger's approach was terrible. Like, there was a different way of approaching this. And I think when I heard about it, I was like, oh, cool. You lose your Ledger, you now have an opportunity to recover. That was what I thought about it at first when I first heard about it. But I thought maybe I misunderstood because all these people were up in an uproar about it. So that's why I wasn't too positive, to be honest.
The way that it works though is that it does an encryption of another seed of your it makes a copy of the seed phrase and encrypts it on the ledger itself. So to me, I would rather have that not be on the device itself and have it be somewhere else. But
I get it. I get it. Yeah.
Maybe it could be later down the road. This is like, it says they're going to test with the X, right? So it's obviously just the first run here. I know everybody's up in fire right now. I'm just like, you don't opt in, you don't have to worry about it, man. It's simple as that.
They're pulling a Bud Light. Let's be honest here. Let's be honest. No one.
That was mentioned.
No one wants this. Let's be honest. No one is asking for this. No one wants this. It's the same thing that happened with Bud Light. No one's asking for it. No one wanted that. So, I don't see this going well from a PR side. I've seen nothing but nightmares for them today.
I think it kind of. I think it.
All right, can go.
Yeah, I think it depends though, right? Because it depends on what market they're trying to reach. Let's say they get like 100 emails a day of people losing their seed phrases, which I could totally see that, right? Because there's people who are not very savvy. Maybe they don't write it down right. Maybe they got bad vision. I don't know, right? Hundreds of thousands of different excuses, right? And they probably get emails of, hey, man, I got like 2 Bitcoin and I got locked out my ledger, man. I need help. And they're like, yeah, go get F. There's nothing we can do about it. So they're trying to help people who are maybe forgetful, maybe older people, right? I don't know. There's tons of different people that they could be targeting with this that use their product, and we don't know the back end 100%. How many requests they get for this. Maybe it's thousands, hundreds of thousands, tens of thousands. I don't know. So
I don't doubt it. I don't doubt it. Yeah. I mean, I don't doubt it. The challenge is like, the current generation is pretty naive, to be honest with you, where it's like, hey, it's only in that one spot, and where whatever you do with your seed phrase and everything, and when you lose it, it's gone. And I think that makes it a very hard from a customer service perspective, to be honest with you, where they're providing this product, but it goes completely against the norm for the current generation, where it's like, wait, you lose it or you forget it, whatever, it's gone. Just like you said. Like, and I think this had good intention, but bad execution at the end of the day. Because it goes against what everything, deregulation in crypto stands for. And especially when people find out my seed phrase is on multiple different locations now, and it makes everyone feel very uneasy.
Yeah, I think what it is people are used to like banks, right? You know what I mean? And like credit card companies, like if you lose your credit card or it gets lost or stolen, right? You just call the company and they take care of you. They get it right back out to you, and your stuff's all secure. I think it's just people taking the wrong approach. You know what I mean? Oh, you got dude. I like how he changed his. Hold on, I gotta bring him in. I love this name right here. It's hilarious.
Somebody call Karen.
Of all trades. There we go. What's going on, Karen? Welcome to the club.
We got Karen. We got Cindy.
So I'm gonna go get my bulletproof vest and put it on, man. Y'all making me nervous. I'm gonna go get my tack vest on and put it on.
That's right. Gotta prep.
That's right.
Oh my gosh. Right. Retro Mike, real quick. Retro Mike with the 5 Kingsman memberships. Shout out to Hilo, Crypto, K Trib, Carl Coat, CH Irish, and Wolf Moon for being a Kingsman. Congratulations, guys.
Hey, thank you. Appreciate it.
Awesome. Okay, Miss Karen of all trades.
Karen of all trades. Of all Karens, but it didn't sound right.
Hey, you know what? If you change your YouTube name, then it's actually official. Until now,
that ain't gonna happen. No, and so my 2 cents real quick about that whole ledger thing is, I see why they did it, and Hawk, you're completely right. You know, it in a sense it is a good business decision, I think, but I think they went about it wrong. It should have been, I mean, you have to opt in and pay for this service, right? That should be the only way you get your custom firmware. You don't get the custom firmware. You don't get an opportunity to even have to opt in or opt out or any of that shit. It just, your ledger runs as normal, like it always has, and it always will. That's been the big plus about Ledger, is like, you know, it's pretty much the king of the cold wallets, you know, between the Ledger and the Trezor. I've always picked the Ledger for ease of use. It has its own native app. It has, you know, an application on the desktop. It's just a lot easier to use. I mean, Exodus with Trezor and all that, but still, I think the way that they're kind of shoving this down your throat was a bad call, and I bet you they back out of it.
Really, I agree with you. Or they go the avenue as you had explained, where they offer 2 different avenues for it, because right now it's a PR nightmare for them, and it's like someone in marketing is getting fired right now because this was a terrible idea, without a doubt. But they have to. But I mean, you know, just as you said, you offer it to the people that want to pay for it, and they separate download, separate install. Great, go for it. Or offer 2 different products, whole different products. You can buy this Ledger.
Made a good point. Hawk made a good point with that, where having a different set of hardware is going to be really expensive. You know, I mean, put a sticker on it and call it a Pro Edition or something. Sure. But having a whole separate line probably will get expensive. I mean, hell, hire an intern and have them slap stickers on the box, you know, and plug a machine in, you know, plug the device into a machine and do 10 at once and install the custom firmware on it, preloaded, you know, whatever it is. But it should definitely be as a service is the only way you can get this setup.
The Ledger Karen Pro. It's the Ledger Karen Pro. And market it, get it out there.
Well, here's what they could do to not, you know, have to create 2 different products, because they already have the products. It's just have 2 different SKUs. You know what I mean? Have them come with 2 different firmwares. Like this S Plus has the ID recovering tool, and this one doesn't. Right? You know what I mean? That way you keep both parties happy, and you just upload 2 different firmware. So it's not like any more or less work, right? You have to already put a firmware on it. So I think that would be the way to approach it. But yeah, something similar to like, you know, Geek of All Trades said. I think their execution of like just generally putting it in a full firmware update was bad. But I see where they're coming from though, right? Intentions were good. Like you said, executions could have been better. So we'll have to wait and see how this plays out. You think they're going to roll back on it though? I don't think they will.
I do. I think something will change. Maybe when they update it for the Nano S, or the Nano S Plus, not the original S, but the S Plus. when they put it out for some, or the what's the new one that's got a full screen.
Oh, yeah.
But yeah, they've got another one that's coming out. So when they roll this out for the other models, because it's just available for the X right now, I do think that they're going to go about it a little bit different for sure. Yeah, that's
I saw that. Yeah, that
told me
tweet that Panda put in chat.
He told me to open this.
If they opt in, they can get all that back.
Yeah, is that Yankee?
Oh my
I
God.
think that'd be Yankee right there, smashing it, lighting it on fire. That's right.
I mean, all right, listen, look, let's not get carried away. I mean, all right, whatever. I don't know. I'm sure Yankee's gonna like take his AR-15 and put this on a
That's right.
Oh man,
on a target and shoot it.
Thank you. Hold on, I'm gonna interrupt you, Hawk, because for a good reason. But thank you, Joker, for the 5 gifted members. Really appreciate it, man. New members: Overbowl Tech, Detroit Irish, D White, King Mining, and Ted. Thank you guys. Be sure to link your YouTube. I do member streams every week on Tuesdays.
So, all right, hobbyist. While I have you here, I'm gonna pick your brain. What do you think about this KS3?
There's not much there, but go for it, dude. What do you got?
Okay, all right. Well, whatever's left. Okay. What do you think about the now the KS3? Is it a little bit of a coincidence that Ice River goes KS0, KS1, KS2, and then here comes Bitmain KS3? Is it a coincidence? Is it not a coincidence? Do you think that they're working together? There's got to be some talks there, right?
Yeah, so it's interesting on that approach, that lettering and numbering scheme as to like, okay, well, you know, how did Ice River know, you know, in that regards, you know, what was going on there? I also did hear, and I forget who I heard it from, but Bitmain some time back was trying to get a hold of one of the Ice Rivers.
Right.
So I had heard that as well. Yeah, it's really interesting. I actually really enjoyed what Son of a Tech had tweeted out today. He had a thought pattern, and I like the thought pattern. It was Bitmain pumps Caspa price.
Right.
Bitmain list pre-sales for KS3. Bitmain mines on the machines and delays shipment. Bitmain ships miners and dumps their mined Caspa and Caspa tanks. And it is very much a rinse and repeat. Like, Bitmain literally sets the course now for the crypto mining industry. 100%.
That's terrible.
And it's crazy to think, but guys, absolutely, Caspa becomes a thing. It's not like they just started working on this yesterday. Now, granted, all their chassis are pretty cookie cutter. So, you know, it's like we really just need to have the boards available and go from that. I mean, the crazy thing is on this is like people have been, I heard you guys talking about like a price, like putting a price out there. What do you think it's going to be? And I'll be honest with you, like anything that ROIs in a month is insanity, right? Well, if this is making $3,000 a day, let's just round it to $3,000 a day. In 20 days, you're at $60,000, which means what? Are we talking like, think about it. Like, just start to do some of the math as to in 30 days, where does that put us? Like, let's think of 30 days, what this would make in 30 days. That's what I think the price is going to be. It could be 90. I mean, I'm not going to be crazy. Let's say $60,000 for this thing. It would ROI in no time. Like, in a bear market when nothing else is profitable. It's pure insanity.
What do you think, Karen of all trades?
So the KS3 is a funny coincidence. What if Ice River, that really came out of nowhere, is a developer that got pissed off and left and took his secret recipe with him and created a KS0 and a KS1 and a KS2. And Bitmain, got their hands on one of them and engineered it and pushed it to the head of the line and made it KS3. There's probably like 5 of these KS3s in existence right now with a whole bunch on order, but they're probably sitting at, you know, a project manager's desk burning in to, to CEOs' wallets. And it's going to be this way until August.
Well, Detroit Irish.
They said August,
Detroit Irish made a good point. They said when they came out with the Cadena miner, the KA3, they started at 3, right? So KS, it might just be how they model their units. So it could be pure coincidence, honestly.
Well, I don't know, because they had the L3, the L5, the L7, so on and so forth. They had the S1, the S3, the S5, the S9. the S10 was kind of Frankenstein, but but then it jumped S15, S17. You know, it I don't know. It is a weird naming scheme that they have. You got to point that.
It is. It is a weird naming scheme. I wonder if there's any rhyme or reason behind it, but
they're taking after BMW. They've got a 3 series and a 5 series.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean the 8.3 terahash there. I thought it was 8.2. Maybe it is 8.3, but regardless, like the amount of power that's behind this thing, like, is insane. Like it'll do exactly what happened with Cadena. And the hard part is like, man, like this is insane. Like it makes me want to go put everything on Caspa as fast as I can before this completely gets destroyed. Before this network gets destroyed.
You know, son of a tech, and then you brought it up. They made a good point. Like, you need significant price discovery if people are going to buy this unit in mass.
Yep.
Right.
Yep.
You need it. Yeah. You need it. So there's going to be some manipulation coming down, and if you have a bag of Caspa already, you know, just ride the wave, man. You know, as soon as it hits that high, watch the markets very closely. Not financial advice, but after it dips and all those units are sold, man, they're not going to give a shit. They're just going to go and, you know, create another one for the next project. I mean, holy hell, bro. 971,000. Oh, my God.
Look at this.
Hey, Panda, you see this? You see this, Panda?
Millionaire. You be almost be a millionaire.
Well, here's the thing, too. So Panda did on his live stream today, he put the network hash rate to like 8 petahash, right? Which basically rendered the current Ice River useless. And I think it was at 8 petahash, it earned 156 Caspa a day. And if I remember, Panda, please correct me, it was like, I don't know, $3 or $4 a day, right? So if let's just, that's at 2 terahash. This is going to be 8. So if we, you know, times that by 4, it'll still be, if it goes, the network goes to 8 petahash, roughly this unit will still be profitable. If it stays at 8 petahash, it'll probably be, I'm bad at math. So 3 times 4, it'd be like $12, $15 a day, depending on network difficulty. Right?
I see the smoke coming out of Hawk's ears there.
Yeah, bro.
I know, right? The gears are turning.
Just to think, though, for certain, that's it. Yes, right. If it stays at its current price, Panda, correct. He says 8 petahash network hash rate would be 337 a day for the KS3. For the KS3 at the current price. Obviously, they need those numbers to pump, right? I mean,
well, here and look at this, and here's this warning too.
Yeah, I know, like that. Yeah.
Well, and just like Cadena, I mean, you saw what happened with Cadena. I mean, it wasn't $3,000 a day, but it was up there, several $100s a day. And then by the time it actually people started seeing it, it was in a reasonable, you know, profit, $20 a day, $25, $30 a day, which in a bear market is not reasonable, but still, you know what I'm saying.
I think if you're Bitmain too, you don't want to do what we all speculate that they've done traditionally. It's pure speculation. There's no evidence of this where they test the machines. You know what I mean? And
yes, yeah,
yeah, and you know, because now we'll see the significant increase in hash rate, right? We'll see it. If the hash rate increases, you know, 50 to 60, 70% now, we're gonna know that Bitmain turned on some machines. There's no other way that it could go.
Well, what if these machines are running right now? So think of it this way. So this machine does not even cost what it makes in 1 day to manufacture. It doesn't cost $3,000 to manufacture this unit. Now, you might have some R&D costs in there, so you want to make back your money. I get it. Awesome. But like these units I guarantee you these units are up and running right now. Without a doubt. I mean, seriously, they make $3,000 a day right now. Bitmain would be insane to not have these units up and running right now and cashing this out and just stacking.
Like, are you saying they do burn-in tests?
Oh, 100%. Oh, you can call it whatever the hell you want to call it. Either way, they're not dumb. Like, let's be honest here. Like, why would they even sell these right now? They make more off of mining with these right now than selling these right now.
Yeah, they do with all of their ASICs, though. I mean, any new ASIC they come out with, they make more mining it before it's released to the public. Because once it's released to the public and everybody starts mining on it, the hash rate dumps.
Well, everything is, tested before it leaves the factory. Even vehicles, man. Everybody thinks they get a car and it's never been run before. Man, they run that engine for like hours and hours at like full bore at a time to test it. I know BMW does that. GPUs too. GPUs are run hard before they leave the factory. They look at them, they inspect them, but they're not going to release it without testing them. So, you know, everything is tested before it leaves, right? I mean, it's quality control. They can argue quality control. Okay, cool. You testing it, but it's going somewhere. The coins are going somewhere.
Yeah.
If the
Go ahead.
I was going to ask if the price of Caspa goes back to 4 cents. You guys selling?
No. And I'm going to tell you why I'm not going to sell.
Okay.
Because that price on Caspa, again, not financial advice, but it's for Bitmain to make it worth it to buy one of these. That price has got to go over 4 cents. It's got to be.
Something.
It's got to be like. It's got to push like Cadena numbers. In my opinion, for it to even be worth it, it's got to. Yeah, no. In my opinion, I could be wrong. I mean, what do you guys think? I mean.
Oh yeah. I'm holding until the next bull run for sure.
Yeah. I mean, I started mining Caspa like a few months after Son of a Tech like mentioned it on his live stream, and I'm like, look, man, I said if Son of a Tech says it's good, I'm gonna ride the wave. I'm serious.
Good for you guys. Good for you guys.
Same thing with Panda. Panda says something, we ride the wave, man. I said, look, you've been in it longer. I'm gonna listen to to people.
You don't listen to Panda. He's into Pigeon Coin. Come on now. All right.
I know.
Look,
Jesus, right?
$1,000 in Pigeon Coin when he said it probably would have made about 10-15 grand. Okay,
so
just being real.
I mean, if you'd have bought Tesla when DJ told you to, you'd have been up 3x on your money right now.
Turtle Tech says, Hawk, love you, bro, but they do not run new cars for hours. Does not make sense? Well, I don't mean the car itself. I mean the engine. When they test engines, they do run the engines hard. That I do know. They do. Certain car companies will run the engines, especially like the M series the Formula One tuned cars. They run those engines hard before they put them in the cars.
So does the news on this encourage, like with this going on, and like Caspa has become even more legitimized now with like Bitmain, we got an ASIC
100%.
now, things like that. Does this make you guys more bullish on putting more on Caspa right now, or does this make you go, I don't even want to touch it because of the oversaturation?
Well, you still get good yields right now. You still get good yields. I got a customer. We have a client right now that's got, what is it, King? Like what, 57 gigahash on Caspa? He made like 30,000 Caspa in 1 month with his rigs.
Yeah.
And he likes it. He's in on it. You know what I mean? So I think the yields are still pretty good at this moment. But like Panda just said, what did he say? He goes, trust me, guys, you're forgetting something. If you're mining $2,000-$3,000 a day, there's 0% chance you will hold up the next bull run. Think about taxes you got to pay. Oh, forget it, dude. The taxes are going to be a nightmare for that.
Right, because of the because of your capital gains that you're going to gain from all of the Caspa. Yeah.
My question is that Caspa was talking about something in their roadmap called optical proof of work. Does anybody remember this? I mentioned it a few times. I wonder what this is going to do for their project now, because what's going to happen now? I mean, dude, these machines in 3 months, all the Caspa is going to be gone.
When did the Ice Rivers ship? Does anyone know?
Oh, I don't remember.
About a month ago.
But if I click back, does it say when it was
launched? They haven't all shipped, right? I thought like there was like 250 Ice Rivers total, but they haven't shipped yet.
Oh, yeah, I don't know.
I believe so. Red Panda will know because they're buddies. Him and Ice Rivers. So, let us know, Panda, when they ship, because we're talking about like hash rates, we're talking about profitability, we're talking about yields. Those will affect it. Not as much as what the Bitmains will, but those will affect it. So this could be a trickle effect over the next few months of the Ice Rivers coming online. Then you have the Bitmains coming online. So something that, see, Panda knows. Hold mention it. Here it comes. Look, he had to say my name first in chat before he gives us the answer. But, let's wait and find out here. Yep.
Yeah.
June.
I'm turned off by Caspa. I didn't really get into it. I mined it on just testing it here and there, and I happen to get like 25,000 of it, and I'm just sitting on it, and that's it.
Yep.
I mined it early on, so I have no plans.
That's a good avenue to go. Get the bag that you want, and then pivot to something else.
Yep, exactly.
So NerdBeast says, NerdBeast says the optical miners are being developed for both AI and Caspa. These miners are supposedly even more efficient than the ASICs. K-Trim says, Hawk Crypto Mining, it depends how much or how little hash rate you can put on the coin, it won't make much cast with my tiny. I won't make much cast with my tiny rig. We know that they're ahead of schedule with their emissions, right? Because me and King actually did look at the date. Was it like a couple Terrahash Tuesdays ago? We pulled up the emission schedule, King, and they're like a month ahead or something.
No, they were like 6 days ahead back then.
Oh, 6 days. I'm sorry. So, what's going to happen? I know the network difficulty will adjust and stuff like that, but can it really take the onslaught? I mean, were they really preparing for the onslaught of hash rate? I mean, I don't know. Just food for thought. I could be wrong. I could be 100%.
Look at that link that Panda put in chat to top Caspa addresses. That's a pretty cool breakdown of, where from the balance addresses out there. There's one person with 1 billion to 10 billion. You see that?
It's Panda. It's Panda.
Yeah. It's Panda. Yeah. But if you click that link, King, bring that up.
Oh man, it's a phishing scam. Come on now.
Oh, 100%. Yeah. I mean, your whole computer is going to
Yeah, your seed phrases are gone now.
Yeah.
$26 million in Caspa. So sell. I'm selling.
Yep.
Gone, bro. I don't care. Crash the network. I don't give a shit.
That's crazy.
Yeah, it's crazy to see where this sits.
This is
that probably is an exchange. Panda said that's an exchange. It might be. It might be KuCoin.
All right, cool. So we'll move down to the second possibility.
So this is Panda here. This is Panda, the Aquaman. That's right. 1 to 10 billion. This is Panda right here.
Yeah. Oh my
I feel like Panda's symbol needs to be like sushi or something like that. It can't really be Aquaman. It's gotta be sushi or something. Chicken nuggets.
Oh,
chicken nuggets.
You said to scroll down. Oh, it says. Oh, it's a Mex wallet. Yeah.
Oh wow. Yeah.
Oh yeah, it is.
1.3 billion.
Okay, there's KuCoin is 1.4.
Gate.io and KuCoin, CoinX, which aren't they closing, by the way?
Who's that?
Just for the U.S.
Is that just for the U.S.? Okay.
That was CoinX. Yeah, it was just for the U.S. because the lovely SEC is doing a job that no one's asking for. But yep.
Yeah. All right, guys. I just came in to troll hobbyists a little bit with my Karen.
Hey, it doesn't troll me.
Hey, love
all
it,
those
man.
Karens out there bitching and complaining. I get it.
That's right. Well, you gotta do what you're good at. One last thing though, Mining King, and I'm gonna go while you answer this. But
all right.
If you got 60 grand to spend on one of those or on proof of useful work, which one are you gonna do?
You really gonna ask me that? He leaves.
Well,
he's leading into proof of useful work, which I wanted to do anyways. So
nice.
I think long term proof of useful work is going to yield you. I don't know. Honestly, I don't know. I don't think proof of useful work will make you $1 million in 1 year. I don't know. I got nothing really. I mean, what's your objective?
Okay, number one, when all of these launch, and people eventually get them, what it says in a year is not what you're going to make. That's going to drastically fall off. It does with all the ASICs. They're like, hey, look at me. Look at all this money I'm making, right? Oh, man, I could be rich. I'm about to be a millionaire. Here's my 60 grand. Give it to me. And then like you don't even make near that. It's what happens every time. They're just trying. It's just trying to get your attention. Proof of useful work. Proof of useful work for sure.
Retro Mike sent me a DM from vipertech.com. They have a KS3 listed for $23,900.
Yeah, I saw that. It was a speculative post on the price of it. I mean, it's not wrong. I think the hard part is like, who's buying any ASICs 20 grand and higher right now in a bear market?
Yeah.
It's like no one. Like I remember looking back during the bull run and like you were seeing people spend 30, 40 grand on some of these things. And that was a hard pill to swallow, but it was still doable because you could see that return on the investment. Now, during a bear market, I mean, is Bitmain insane to do 20 plus? Like, you know what I mean? Like, that's crazy. But the hard part is like when you're throwing up numbers like this, some people may pull the trigger. So that you may have a market that pulls the trigger.
Crypto Perks makes a point with the AI stuff. He goes, when I think about AI and upgrading equipment, I think of being a small fish with the whale chasing my ass. Always going to be something better than what you have. I mean, yeah, they're agreed. Agreed. I mean, this is why proof of useful work from Flux is attractive, right? Because everybody can participate. Everybody can get a slice of the pie, whether it's, small or big, still a slice of the pie. But yeah, I mean, could proof of useful work, could Flux be just bombarded with people with like that one crazy guy who's got nothing but money to spend. He buys a DGX2, spends $500,000, puts it in his garage, and then puts it on proof of useful work. I mean, then what? Right. That would be the equivalent of the KS3 coming on Caspa and screwing the GPU miners. Yeah, I mean, did that happen? 150%. I mean, it's like almost by the time you hear about it, right? It's too late. You know what I'm saying? By the time
King, proof of useful work, give it to us, because I know you're literally itching to talk about this. And I love to give some opinions on it.
I'm sorry, I gotta help with the baby for a second.
All right,
go for it.
Hey, it's okay. It's all good. I mean, so I know some people have been like, "Oh man, this is going to be expensive. I'm not going to be able to afford it." Look, if you're talking about like an actual like rig of cards, yes, you're going to have to make some financial upgrades, right? Now, if you want to participate just on a basic level, you can just use your gaming computer or whatever I'm not going to say whatever you got laying around because I don't know what that is, but
well, that's the whole point. Based off all my discussions with their team, like publicly and not publicly, they want you to be able to use new and old hardware. Like, you're going to be able to use everything. Whatever you throw at it, it's going to go ahead and utilize it in one way or another. But as you had indicated, it will come down to, the better equipment is going to be more profitable and make sense to run. But you're going to be able to run a decent amount of stuff out there on this. It's not going to be, I feel like too many people are concerned about like, I need to sell all my 30 series, sell all my equipment and buy just 4000 series cards. Cause that's not the case at all.
No, I have a different approach, but I'm not going to announce, but
don't say anything, King. Don't say.
I won't announce my GPU strategy. You'll have to just wait and see what that is.
Yep.
I mean, personally, I'm considering. It's a little early, but I'm considering selling all Octominers and obviously getting all actual like full real servers and going that route. Because to me, it's just like it's like having another tool on the belt, right? Why have a machine that can only do one thing when it can do two things? And yeah, I get it's gonna be more money. It's gonna cost you some more money, but I think overall it'll produce more. And that's not to say that look, even if proof of useful work is, I don't think it's not going to be successful, but let's just say bad things happen and it's not successful. You could always go to like Vast.ai. You could go to all these other marketplaces that already exist and have customer bases, right? And still do mining and do your AI and stuff like that. So
yeah,
I think it's a good investment. But yeah, it's just going to depend on your level of where you want to be. You know what I mean? Like, do you want 10 rigs, for AI, or are you just the guy who wants to just maybe use his gaming computer on the side? This and the other part is people need to understand that this is like you becoming a data center. Like this isn't mining anymore. It truly matters if it goes down or not. You know what I mean? You might be 3 weeks in to a job and then it goes down and then you're not being paid and you paid all that electricity for however long on however many of your rigs, and you're out that money now. I want you to keep that in mind. So it's just like you need to treat this like you're like a little tiny AWS is what you are. You need to have good, power infrastructure, good internet infrastructure. If you don't have those things, maybe you might want to look elsewhere.
Hey King, I'm not sure if you answered this, but Trading Capital Toronto Corporation said, are you hosting all KS3s? Are you hosting KS3? I mean, we can host a KS3. It's about the same size as an S19, right?
Yeah. But in the contract, it says you have to mine half of it to my wallet. You got to give me half.
King, I think on the proof of useful work side, I think there's a few things to say there. Like I would, one thing that I think all of us have learned during the bear market is to diversify. So I wouldn't go like sell everything and go proof of useful work. As much confidence as I have in Flux and their team and the project, I don't think it's worth gutting the entire farm just to move in that direction. I think you really do need to diversify. I think that's one thing we've definitely learned. And majority of my audience, your audiences, are home crypto miners, which means, they only have a few rigs. I actually did some surveys more recently to find out majority of my audience has under 50 GPUs total. So that in mind, I really only see a lot of these people setting up one rig for proof of useful work. and that's fine. And I get it. But guys, we might go back to like, you might literally go back to like building a rig on a board. I remember some of my rigs I built on a wooden board, and it was just an open-faced motherboard, power supply. You know, you got your GPUs sitting there and everything, and you may just end up with a 3 or 4 GPU rig. You might end up with a 2 GPU rig for proof of useful work with a beefy CPU, lots of memory, and off you go. And I think that's fine. I think that makes sense, but I wouldn't sell the farm for something that has not proved profitable quite yet. It looks great. It's on the right track. You hope it, but at the end of the day, you got to have clients too. You got to have customers and clients coming to the door in order for you to get paid.
There's going to be a lot of FOMO. A lot of FOMO.
Oh, yeah.
AI.
Oh, yeah.
100%. There's going to be people liquidating like crazy. Prices of GPUs might dip, temporarily because they're just going to flood the market, getting rid of certain GPUs to get other ones that are cheaper. Kaiser says proof of useful work is like creating Skynet. Oh my God. Yeah. It's already here. Oh, speaking of Skynet. What's up, man?
Yeah, that's right. Conspiracy theorist right here. Let's go.
No, man. Patrick make good points.
I got to get a proper tinfoil hat and just kind of keep it next to me because every episode I got to put it on at least twice.
You're on twice today. Actually, you were on earlier stream with Yeti, and now you're coming on here. Always great to have you, Patrick.
Always a blessing to be here. Thank you.
So I know you've been listening. What is your take on what we're talking about? So
I guess kind of as my little tag here mentions. Wow, I can English here. I think compute is going to be the future of the crypto space itself in general, right? Because up until this point, what did every crypto project have at its core? It had a ledger, that ledger part of its blockchain. So now, as we advance forward, the next generation of what I see, whether Flux does or doesn't do it, somebody else is going to make it happen and other people are going to copy it. So the idea of having distributed compute that you can run out processing power is going to be the next generation of what we familiarize ourselves with or come to know as crypto mining. I think some of the traditional will exist, but it'll be far and few between because it's going to be just kind of moving past that stage.
Right.
So whether you're building specifically for Flux or something else, there's going to be a need for compute for sure.
Well, DJ Mine said earlier that certain GPUs are only making about 50 cents an hour, that there's not enough demand. My question is, and so did Red Panda. Red Panda just said that too. He goes, I don't think there'll be enough demand. There's a lot of compute out there. Where's the demand going to go? Now, if I'm thinking like a business, right? 150%. If I'm thinking like a business and I'm Flux, right? I am going to try and secure some sort of business or something before I roll out this giant investment, which is probably the biggest thing Flux has done since since they've come out, right? This proof of useful work transition for Flux is going to be huge. I'm thinking, okay, you got to make a calculated, it's got to be a calculated risk, right? Flux is probably saying, okay, well, they've probably already secured, and we don't know this. Nobody knows this. I'm sure this is played very close to the chest. And this is just pure speculation. But if I was them, I would say, hey, look, this is what we're doing. This is what we're going to release. Let's lock in a contract. We'll get you guys in. Because if you think about it, I wouldn't dump, the millions of dollars it's going to take, to get this all. I mean, I'm sure it's taken at least going to be at least $1 million for Flux to get this all up and going. That's a big risk for Flux. They're not a huge crypto project yet. You know what I mean? They're still in their infancy, in my opinion. Have potential to do great things, and we all love them, but it's a risk for them too. What's the risk factor? Are they going to go in? Do they have a company already signed on? I would think so. You know what I mean? You're going to go ahead and do this. Go ahead, King.
So in one of our streams, I can't remember if it was a Saturday Night Live or a Terrahash Tuesday, but it was when Jeffkey was on. He stated that they already have customers who want this product already, that are waiting for it to launch. So they already have that. And I know Jeff Keys mentioned that he's in the medical field, so I know he has strong ties there, and I know he's probably getting business for the Flux team in that industry. Now, here's something to take into account, though. This is what Flux really has going for it. Is I want you to think of AWS or any of these other like major places like data centers who have servers and stuff like that. So what do they have to? What's the cost to them, right? One, they have to buy hundreds of thousands, millions of dollars of server equipment. Then they have to pay hundreds of thousands or millions of dollars of network admins, system admins, and all these guys to manage this stuff. They have to pay the power. They have to pay the fiber bill. They have all this stuff they have to pay for, all this overhead, millions upon millions of dollars. If you think about it, what is Flux paying for?
Sure.
Right.
They can undercut them dramatically.
Right.
Yeah. So something you had talked about too is like that this blew me out of the water. I didn't know. I knew of this Project Mayhem, but didn't know what it was. I knew it was in the works. I had talked with some of their guys about it, but like it's like, oh, this is coming out. It's gonna be huge, and they actually created this before we even knew we needed it. Like, and I thought that was genius. Like when I heard about Project Mayhem, I was like, damn, way to look at a current trend and come up with something where there is demand for it. But if you're going to go ahead and drop this little teaser now, I love it, but it should be ready tomorrow then. Because guess what? Amazon and Google, they're not dumb. They get wind of these things, they'll turn them around in a month. You know what I mean? Like, and they'll have this. And guess what? Which one is somebody going to use? Like people, if this was out available today, people would use this like crazy. You know what I mean? Because AI is taking off right now. It is the buzzword. It is the trend, creating things like I even had a meeting in my workplace about like us building out an AI work policy on like what can be used, what can't be used, looking at copywriting items. Like, do we start to put them through a system? And then, oh, look, Mayhem is available. Holy cow. Like we can put some of our copy through that to validate things like that. But now you've dropped something that people didn't realize that, oh, we need this. Like you're like 3 steps ahead of us. We need this. We need Mayhem today, not 6 months from now. Because 6 months from now, someone else is developing that. Because I'll tell you what, Google and Amazon can put that together in a month. Give them that idea. They'll put it. So it's like, Flux, I love you. But it's like, you just dropped this huge bomb that you have so much possibility to run with it. Like this is something that literally would be talked about in news medias. We're like, hey, we have all this is available through this product for businesses, for schools, all of these things to validate it. But it's like, it's not ready right now. So why did you tell me about it? Why did you make this public right now? That's right. One concern I have, where it's like Flux gets excited about something in the team, which I love it and I get it. But it's like, if this isn't ready tomorrow, you're kind of dangling this in front of everybody.
So go ahead, sorry. Patrick. No, I was just going to read something from Nerd Beast real quick, Patrick.
Sure.
Down the future, maybe. Well, in the future, maybe. But no way large companies will leave the safety of Microsoft/Amazon to go with the crypto company. No matter how cheap, Flux needs to get a big customer to build trust. Yeah, we've said that. We said they just need one big client to throw them a bone, and it's like dominoes. You know, and that's the way it goes. You know what I mean? So, Patrick,
well, and they even said with Flux especially, their target is not to go ahead and like steal Microsoft Business and Amazon, but to be like a DR solution for people. So it's like, all right, you're on AWS, you're on Microsoft Azure. And then, if they can get some sales on the DR side of like, hey, we could take your DR costs and overhead and cut it from here down to here. And then at some point when you do your testing and realize, oh, this is great, like there's opportunity there. They've talked about that before. And also just picking up small clients so that eventually it ends up trickling up to your bigger ones.
I'm curious, and maybe I missed it, but have they made any mention of how they're proposing Mayhem would work functionally?
Regarding like dropping in, you're talking about dropping in text and pictures and videos in, and how it actually works on the back end in order to check with the other platforms?
Yeah, just any tidbit of information other than, well, you can just drop something in and it's going to tell you yes or no.
Yep. That's how they said it would work. that you would drop into a repository, and then it would go ahead and pretty much has API calls to all the different, is my understanding, uses API calls to all the different platforms in order to validate where it was created.
Okay, so then it's not actually performing any work.
Correct. Other than, I mean, maybe I'm wrong, but that's based off of my understanding as well, that it's not going ahead and like breaking apart like an image like you would think with like an AI or a movie or a video. Now, maybe I'm wrong, and maybe we haven't been given all the details yet, and maybe we won't be because you're kind of giving away secrets of it. But yeah, that's what I'm not positive about.
So, I mean, if they were to say something like, well, we have a procedure algorithmically where, you know, we have a high rate of probability of determining whether this is, you know, CGI or not. Okay, that makes sense. But if they're going to be like, hey, we're going to go to all the people who make this stuff, we're going to say, oh, yeah, by the way, did this come from you? Then it's functionally useless.
Yep. Yeah, there's got to be some heavy lifting to go on, especially to be used in the proof of useful work mentality. I mean, King, like you said, I'm excited for it. I think it's great. I mean, I'm already looking at cards that I want to go with for proof of useful work and trying to get them in my personal roadmap as to when I want to purchase them and what they will be. And it's nothing that's going to break the bank, but it's ones that I'm looking at. But I probably will maybe turn up 3 to 5 rigs, maybe, and that's a lot, I feel like. Are you thinking even farther than that, King? Like you want to go ham?
I haven't decided yet. I'm still.
Yeah, it's hard.
It's early. It's early on. I've talked to a few people, and
sure,
you know, it's. I'm thinking. I was even considering taking, you know, against my Mining King LLC, maybe doing like a business loan or something like that. Maybe going really big, going real big, and just, you know, having like 100 rigs.
You're crazy. You're crazy.
Yeah, I don't know. You know what I mean? Probably to start off with, I'm gonna like, this is pretty realistic. The first thing we're gonna get is a benchmarking tool. So it's not even the 100% full functional piece of software we need. So I'm just probably gonna test on my 5900X with 32 gigs of RAM, and I'll use Windows and I'll use Linux. I'll just switch between them both and do testing with cards and stuff like that, just like everybody else, just have something to test off of. And then after I get a better conclusion of what I think is good, you know what I mean, and what's going to be like, you know, the value, or, you know, there's obviously going to be a sweet spot, right? Versus where you start spending too much money and the returns become just de minimis, where it's not really worth spending the money. So you got to find that sweet point. So that's what everybody's going to be looking for.
Were you guys surprised to find out that like this won't run in Hive OS? I don't know if that's a big bombshell for people, but like proof of useful work will not run in Hive OS. Okay, so I don't know how many people realize that like this will be a Windows application, or it's going to be a standalone Linux boot like a Hive OS. And so you're either going to run this on your, like my PC here, run it on here as a Windows app, or you're going to go ahead and boot to it. And they did say it can mine other things. You know, you could be mining whatever, and then it swaps based off of when it's your turn in line or when it's on a project and stuff like that, which I think is good. But I think that's really going to surprise a lot of people, because it's like you're stepping outside of your normalcy for miners.
Yeah, well, so it's interesting how they worded it in the Discord, and I like the way that Jeffkey kind of explained it. It's like Hive OS and NiceHash had a baby. Right, and it had the best of both worlds. So they didn't really elaborate on all the features of it, obviously, right? Because it's still being developed. But to me, in my mind, that tells me this: they're probably going to have auto profit switching, right? You know what I mean, to other coins, and they'll probably have auto tuning, obviously. Now, I would like an option to just obviously probably manual, you know, overclock my GPUs, because maybe I feel like the auto tuning's not getting enough done for me. But I think I don't see this stuff as being as bad thing as, like, to me, if I don't have to use Hive OS, I'm okay with that. If I could do everything that I can do in Hive, I can do in this, then it means little to me.
Yeah, I'm interested in how they go about doing this because, like, if it's similar, like a lot of people know, I've been very comfortable with using NiceHash's new OS, and it works great. And this is kind of what I think it is as well, where you're literally putting it onto a USB drive or SSD, whatever. You boot to it, and then you don't do anything. You literally go over to the web page, the dashboard, and there's your rig right in the dashboard, and that's kind of where it starts and ends there. Where I was always interested in when I first heard about proof of useful work was very much the like, hey, you could be mining Flux, then it leaves the Flux network, goes to the proof of useful work project, does its work, and then would return back. And that was always my thought pattern as well with this. And as you had said, like, are they going to have this built in with the native UI and GUI that like you can do that? And now they're kind of building an entire OS for mining that'll almost take you away from Hive OS.
Right, and as well as like, if you only have 1 or 2 rigs, right, it's typically free on HiveOS, but some of us that have more, we have to pay. So
yeah,
they haven't announced whether or not we're going to pay for this. It looks like it's free from this point right now, right? Maybe it'll be free to the people who come on early, or something like that. I have no idea if they're going to charge for this, but if it's free, I mean, to me, this is like, I don't know, and it works, and it's, you can either do old school Hive overclocking or have it auto tune. I mean, it's kind of.
But how are you overclocking for something that you don't know? Like, it doesn't operate on an algorithm. So like, are you
talking about? Are you talking about like?
100%.
Are you talking about? So I'm talking about overclocking for mining. And
okay.
And then if you want to, now I would recommend against. Now you could use things like MSI Afterburner and stuff like that to detune your voltages, right? Because you're going to be running at the TDP, right, when it's rendering and doing whatever it's doing.
Yep.
I would highly recommend not tuning down the cards, even though I know some people are going to want to save power, but you have to come back to stability now, because it's going to all come down to Silicon Lottery running at full TDP for weeks at a time. Oh man, that is so risky. What if you ran for like 2.5 weeks and it crashed? Like you're not
running proof of useful work to like watch your wattage. Like you're not doing that. Like the proof of useful work is not going to be for like your miner who's like, I have this plugged into my wall outlet in my room and I got to make sure I don't use this much watts or else I pop the breaker. It's like, this isn't for you. This rig is going to be a monster on heat and power. Like, cause it's just 100%. CPU, 100%. GPU is like, yeah. I mean, I mean, think of it. CPU wise, like you're probably going to want to have like an AIO system in order to keep everything cool. Like you're going to want to have that running like GPU. No, Patrick Guyan saying no. Why would you not do that?
So workstation builds, for example, those all run on 220. And virtually all of them use like a Noctua active like air cooler, 3 fans. Because I've been doing a lot of research into this to kind of get ideas of where and how to build. And if you want to keep something cooler for a longer period of time, air is going to do it, not the thermal dissipation by putting it into a radiator and sticking it off on the side. Because
it's constant, it never lets go, which is constant. Okay.
Right. So that water is going to just keep building and building temperature, and there's going to be a threshold to where you're just not going to be able to pull the heat out of it.
That's a great point.
So water cooling is good for spikes, and that's about it. Not constant thermal loads.
Yeah, that
I feel like the more you know, music just played in my head.
Yeah.
Well, that's great though. Yeah.
Think about it this way too. Let's say you're having it hosted somewhere. And like in like your pump stops, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
it's you're so it could be detrimental. You could be.
But that could be your fans too. Your fans, you know, we all know how fans are. God, fans die. You replace fans like all the time. So no, that is a really good point. I mean, it's going to be experimenting. I'm really looking forward to seeing what people do, builds they end up doing.
I want to see a full hardline water cooled AI rig from you hobbyists. Hardline.
No, I would just be like, hey, chump change, you were a plumber, right? Go ahead and do this for me. You know, be like, brother, come on, stop this 3D printing stuff. Just build it. You know.
I can't wait just to call King and say, bro, I need help building this thing, bro.
Wait, hold on. This was gonna be like, click. No,
Did you guys ever see Linus Tech Tips like years ago? Did this whole like elaborate water cooling where he took all of his rigs and he had them pipe like outside to radiators. Like it was really cool. It was something Patrick Guyan would be into, where like he had all of it copper piped out. This was and outside, and then 2 radiators to cool everything, and then brought it all back in for like his entire like editing team and everything. And of course, like that's super badass and cool. But it's like that's what I imagine here. It's like if you go ham on this, I mean, think of it. You could have a mining shed with all this equipment that pipes things outside to like a radiator to cool everything, and then bring it back in, you know, just to dissipate that heat. It's like holy cow.
Yeah, when I built a water cooling rig years ago, I just used what is it? The heater core, I think, off of an Escort, you know, and it was like huge for a computer. It was like most of the
Why am I
size
not
of the
surprised?
case,
Yeah.
and it had real small inlets on it. So I'm like, oh, okay, well, that's just basically a step up and a step down, and boom, there you go.
Yeah, that's pretty incredible, actually. Like, I think this is just going to get all those air conditioner fangirls out there that use air conditioners to cool all their rigs in their, you know, at their homes. Get them excited here.
I mean, it's definitely going to be interesting because the AI processing uses the full TDP, and it's the heat is going to be even worse than mining, and that's going to be. So Detroit Irish says, if you guys only take Octos, how are you going to host out proof of useful work rigs? Well, assuming that they're, I'm sorry, Patrick, what?
An Octo-like case?
Yeah, or assuming that they're rack mountable, we got it. We can do that. We can put them in the 40. We have a few 42U racks, and then I actually have a lot of 42U racks that have a lot of empty space right now because obviously we're still waiting for things to come to fruition, and that's just taking a while.
So don't the 3080s have issues in the Octominers?
As far as
nope, not mine. Mine say nice and cool. Mine say nice and cool, man. I don't know about everybody else's. My 37 ETIs, 3080s, they do pretty well.
Okay, I thought the 3080s had issues in the Octominers.
Yeah, Ovalbore and I have been exchanging some messages going back and forth between some different cases out there. And there are a surprising number of, you know, standard 19-inch U mountable cases that could be repurposed for this.
Yeah.
And motherboards to accompany them.
Yeah. So you can get some used stuff, you know what I mean, on eBay. But once again, though, okay, just so everybody understands, you're getting into the realm of servers. They don't behave like a regular desktop PC. You know what I mean? There's lots of firmwares and stuff like that you have to do. You have to go in the BIOS. There's lots more to set up with the server than there is.
Stay away from servers. Stay away from servers.
Well, if you want to do proof of useful work, you're going to have to get some sort of knowledge into getting them because you're going to need the CPU. You're going to need the compute.
Well, the CPU is going to help, but it's not going to be a requirement. Like, you got to remember, we're talking all different scales of proof of useful work.
Right.
To the extreme, you could go that route. You could go way up here.
That's the only way I see. I mean,
but what would you do for a GPU though in these rigs that's going to fit in a small form factor solution that's actually going to be worth it? Because you need a GPU that has high memory.
I can't tell you that part yet. Okay, it's a secret. All right.
All right. Got it. All I'm saying is most people are not going to venture down the route of servers for proof of useful work, but you're going to have the extreme. I get it. I got it. Cool.
I have an alternative solution for people who don't want to get a server case and do all that stuff. You could just get a server motherboard and just build it on a mining frame, and then all you got to do is get the ribbon risers, right? You could get, you know what I mean, use like V2s and V3 Xeons, which are Gen 3, by the way, which is what they recommended. Make sure you got enough slots, okay? And then you can get those for like, what, $200? You know what I mean? The RAM's going to be cheap if you get the V2 because it's only going to be DDR3. Now, are you probably going to take a hit on your CPU performance and your memory performance because you're on DDR3? Probably, right? How much of a difference on your score? I don't know, right?
Yeah, it's all gonna be. You're gonna have to wait to see, as you said, once the benchmarks come out. Like, where exactly is it? Where is it worth it to spend the money on? Like, what is weighted more? Is the memory?
Yeah.
Is it the CPU? Is it your time? Like, what is weighted more from that? And I get it, 100%. But as you had said, which I want to point out, King, you have a really good point. It's like a lot of this is going to come down to uptime, stability, internet uptime. It's like, man. I think there's going to be some leeways in there, but at the same time, I think it's really going to cut into your profitability. Like, they want this to be available for everybody. Like, Johnny jumps on his PC and boots it up or has it run at night or when he's not available or when the computer's idle. So I think there's going to be that level. And then you're going to have,
Right.
I'm throwing it out there, like your enterprise level, which is the mining king side of the world that it seems like it's going towards. I think you have to, little Timmy. There you go. Little Timmy. Yep, exactly.
I wonder.
So,
Sorry, Patrick. Go ahead.
no, go. Sorry.
All right. Well, I wonder if like companies like Hut 8 and these massive GPU farms, I wonder if they're going to pivot. That's what I want to know. Like, if I can get Hut 8 on the line and do an interview and say, what's your plans for the upcoming AI revolution? Are you going to rerun all these GPUs? You're going to, put them in processing? Like, that would be interesting. I mean, because that's what's going to look, just like, miners are to hash rate. Okay, it's a compute. The big players are going to make the biggest moves, right? And it's going to make the little guys who've got 12 U's of rack space with GPUs. What are you going to do? You got 24 GPUs doing AI, but you got a company with 3,000 GPUs doing it. That's where's the line going to be drawn?
Well, you have to remember, like with Hut 8 and stuff like that, like they have commitments to a certain amount, like their profitability and things like that. So they kind of have to stick to like what's profitable right now. But they're smart. I mean, Hut 8's one of the smarter ones out there. You think they're carving away even a portion of their pie in order to get ahead of the curve.
Real quick, I want to answer Mental Mining UK. Yes, we are concerned with the heat issue, which is why we're probably going to have to stop at a certain threshold if we do take it on. But we're in talks right now with a few different people. Nothing that we want to discuss publicly yet. But we should be ready to take on proof of useful work by the time it goes full steam, 100%.
Right.
We will adjust. It's part of our company. We're gonna, we grow with the community, and we'll make the adjustments to accommodate efficiently. What do you got, King? Oh my God, what is this?
There you go. It's only $300,000, Hawk. Just put your house up.
I mean, I'll mortgage the house, bro. It'll be fine. Yeah.
Yeah. See,
That's right.
I mean, that's insane. But see, this is what I'm talking about. You're going to get guys that have stupid money, right? And they have nothing else better to do with their time. They're going to go invest into like a DGX. A DGX2 is close to $600,000 from NVIDIA. Like, they're going to go invest in these massive things. They're going to be doing it full time. They're going to put so much compute on these things that the little guys, is it even going to matter for people like us with 24, 32 GPUs?
I don't think anybody in the community from Flux or anywhere will buy this.
You
never know.
Oh, no. That's crazy.
No,
Hey, my pen of money
no,
will buy it with all the
no.
Casper money. Come on now.
No, but
Okay.
there's going to be a data center that is not using
Yeah.
it right now.
Yeah.
Yep.
Right. And what about all the other ones that are already in play that they're just going to reconfigure to go do this? That's the question. And
That's what they're hoping for, though. That way the compute comes over to Flux.
Yep. So this kind of I'm not sure how I want to say it, but you got the little guy who wants to participate, right? Like, I'll put a couple cards on it. Your 2 cards are functional useless. You're not going to provide any useful amount of compute that anybody with a couple dollars to whatever project they're doing, they don't already have in house. So
Yeah.
it's not there. My farm is relatively small. I got like 42, 43 cards. I don't have enough to, really make much significance. I'm going to give it a go. I'm going to have some fun with it and kind of see what it does or doesn't do. But I realized kind of, that's the way the future's working with it.
I,
So
I
you got the big guys like Hut 8 out there, for example, right? They're going to pivot some percentage of their equipment over to at least test the waters. I
well,
don't
it
know
looks
what
like they
that's
already
going to
offer
be.
it. It looks like they already offer it. Patrick Murphy put a link in the chat that says they already do high performance compute, and they've already offering the service, which means, listen, when you're in the game and you're in the know, you know
Sure.
6 months to a year ahead of everybody else, man, and that's just the way those circles work. And for someone like Hut 8, it would be smart for them to pivot more data center than just mining because listen, mining could end tomorrow. I mean, it's just what the stroke of the pen is mightier than the sword. You know what I mean? Like
Mhm.
it could end tomorrow. And then what? Now you got this company. I'm sorry, Patrick. I didn't mean to overtake what you were saying.
No worries, man. I'm just, kind of resonating with King over here, getting hawked out of the conversation.
Wow.
That's gonna be
Wow.
God, he just
Oh,
coined it.
man.
That's gonna be a new thing. Don't hawk me out of a conversation, bro.
That's right.
It's a
There we
thing.
go.
Somebody clip that, please.
Don't hawk me out of a conversation.
Oh.
I love you, Patrick. I really do. Every time you come
I love you
on
too,
the
man.
show, it's great. Every time you come on the show, I enjoy it, and I will never ever say no.
Yeah.
Here we go. This is it. Get second TL. Get hawked. Red Panda Miner.
Panda's in the chat right now, so he definitely clipped it. All right.
150%. It's not Patrick Murphy did it already. Patrick Murphy is so fast with clipping stuff that he probably did it before I even knew I was going to say it. Like that's how fast he is. It's ridiculous. It's like he's probably going to me in the next 30 seconds. Not even kidding. That's what he does. So,
well, we've been going for like an hour and 40 minutes. If you guys got like last minute questions for us and stuff like that, maybe some of the topics we covered tonight about the ledger, Caspa, proof of useful work, or if you guys have something else you guys want to add to it.
One thing I was going to mention is, if you're in chat and you got a couple bucks and you're thinking, I just want to make one baller rig, the WRX80 motherboards, that's the new Threadripper platform, 7-full 16x 4 lanes.
There you go. There
It's
you go. How much?
Channel. The motherboards are the cheap part. Those are about $900.
Oh.
Man, I could get an epic.
I'm afraid about the
first-gen-
expensive part.
I was like, I get a first gen epic and a motherboard for like 300 something bucks. So it's just like, wow, that seems an expensive route. I like, hey, I need the Patrick, credit union card right now.
Apparently.
Let's go, Patrick.
Yeah, I mean, I guess the question is like, is anybody
it's-
spending the money now to build these rigs out? Because, like, with such speculation,
I'm going to be honest about the Patrick credit union situation here.
That's right.
We had
Go
to
for it.
decline 4 credit cards today at Menards and then pay $80 cash out of pocket to finish buying stuff for our garden.
Oh, jeez.
everybody's feeling it, bro. Trust me, you're not the only one. I had to pay the damn power bill at my house through the restaurant. It was awful. Oh my god.
Second TL mining, funding the Mining King supercomputer fund. I like it. I like it, man. Thank you, Second TL mining.
I would like to do a poll, maybe not on this live stream, but maybe like on Twitter or something, hobbyists, and maybe I'll do it with you. We'll compare numbers. How many people are buying equipment now? Who's going to stay away from proof of useful work? Are people going to go halvesies with their farm? Or are they going to sell everything? 4 options. That'd be interesting because it's going to be I don't know, man. I'm telling you, man, the FOMO is real. I'm just being honest.
FOMO's real, but you got to be able to see the numbers. Like, I think, like look at the mining community, right? FOMO's real, but we follow profitability. Like,
right,
we're very much like, when you can show me the numbers, I'm on board, right? Like, that's the community we're in. And a majority of our audience, as we've talked about time and time again, is home crypto miners. So, we kind of forget about that. And we forget about the fact that, like, most of our audiences have 3 rigs, 4 maybe, majority of them 1 or 2. So it's like, okay, are they going to go ahead and drop, like, we're talking numbers here, like you talked about motherboard here, $900. Most people are going to be like, dude, I'll spend like $2,000 on a rig and that's everything included. So I think that's really the challenge is going to be is like, I'm all for previous work. I think it's awesome. It's great. But I'll be honest with the group of us here. I might maybe build one rig to get started until I see numbers. I'm not going to go drop. I don't got the Red Panda mining money here. I'm not going to go drop 15 grand. I'm not going to go drop 15 grand on, a rig that's my ROI is going to be 15 years. You know what I mean? Like I kind of,
that's going to be
my 2 cents.
My AI rig right there.
Awesome.
So I'm going to convert that old one. I'm going to upgrade the hell out of it.
Yeah, do it.
I got 3 here that I could use. You know what I mean? I got the mining rig, the CPU mining rig. I got the spare older gaming PC, has a 3600X, 32 gigs of RAM, and then I have the server I was tearing apart. So I kind of already had stuff here. So
yeah,
I'm not.
Run with what you got. Run with what you got.
If you guys have an extra computer, like most modern computers have a Gen 3 lane in it, so should be no problem if you want to test. And like once again, we're maybe getting a little ahead of ourselves, which is why I said I didn't take out a business loan and go buy a bunch of everything yet.
Smart man, don't do that.
Because we're only getting like the benchmark tool. That's and we haven't even got that yet. That's like between now and mining Disrupt, right? So that's like that's like a month and a half, somewhere in between there.
That's going to be a fun time. Well, a lot of us are going to be there. Patrick, are you thinking about coming? Mining Disrupt?
About 90% certain.
Yep. Wow, that's awesome.
Nice.
It's going to be the new thing to go to every year now. I mean, especially this year. I mean, I'll be honest with you. I didn't really hear of it last year, but now this year it's like everybody's talking about it and I'm all for it because the brands that are going are ones that I've worked with or hardware that I have. And so it's like, it's relatable. I always listen to DJ Mines when he talks about like Bitcoin 2022 and he's like, as cool as it was and as informational as it was like, it really wasn't for your everyday miner. And mining Disrupt seems like the opposite. So I'm looking forward to that.
I think it's going to be good. It's going to be fun. I'm going. I know DJ Mines is going. Hobbyist Miner. I know Veteran Miner is going.
Red Panda Mining's going. Yeah.
I'm trying to go.
Okay.
Panda's like, I want to go, but then everybody's going to see me. I'm like, if you don't talk, nobody will know who you are.
If he doesn't walk around with a camera like this and
I'm like, just don't say anything. I'll be your muscle, man. That's it. I'll talk for you. Just write it on the board. You know what I mean?
I think it's inevitable eventually. Like putting all things aside for Panda, I think it's inevitable eventually. Like if you want to attend these events, if you want to meet people, things like that, I think it's eventually it's inevitable. Like, but if you don't want to attend the events, then don't just stay at home, do your thing, go to Disney World. Do you, man.
Hey,
I got my shirt being made. It says Panda Collection Squad. I got that being made right now. Just for the record, 2 people have already sent me the damn clip. It's Techman Ty and who is the next one that just
was it Patrick?
And Red Panda. No, Panda.
Yep.
Hey, greatest like life experience, you know what I mean, was at Disney World when we were all in the Millennium Falcon and we were piloting that thing.
Best experience ever.
Why did no one have a GoPro? Like I know nobody wanted to show Panda.
I filmed most of it. I can't show it.
Yeah. It's such a shame.
And put something over his face that floats around with him.
Yep.
I got nothing. It was so fun because I'm like, Panda was a gunner, and I'm trying to tell him to shoot, and and his voice, he's like, Hawk, I'm trying, and you just hear him hit the button. Like it was a great time. It was a great time.
That's funny.
We sat in that line for 20 minutes.
Last thing I want to comment on proof of useful work. Like I think you guys had a really good point of not only we're using the hardware that we have, I think it's going to be a good situation of like building it. So for me, like the rig I haven't built a rig in years. So now I'm like, okay, I'm going to take the rig I have now and repurpose that. It has a Ryzen 9 3900X in it. So it's still a decent, CPU, but repurposing that, beefing it up and using that. And then, okay, I'll build a new editing day-to-day rig that I have here. But I think you're going to see a lot of people do that. I think you're going to see a lot of people like take what you have, replace, upgrade, things like that. for at least the first rig, like the day one. Let's see what profitability is. The nice thing is you can use what you got, but
Right.
I don't think this is the case where you had said King too, where like you can power this up an hour later, power it off, power it up. You know what I mean? Like I think you're really going to struggle if you're going that route.
What for what?
For proof of useful work.
I'm going to struggle?
No, what I'm saying is if
generalizing.
people are going to try to launch the application on their current PC, kind of like NiceHash now, you launch
Right.
it, you run it, and then, an hour later, you need your PC, you turn it off. You turn off the application, then
Whoa.
you turn it back on. Like, I think that's really going to be a struggle for people because that's not how this model works. You know?
Well, no, because they said that you could actually dedicate resources at specific times of the day. So let's say
Yeah.
let's say you work between 8 and 4, right? And you're not home or don't use your computer, whatever.
Yeah.
So between 8 and 4, it uses this much resources, and then between 4 and we'll say, I don't know, 10, right? It only uses half of the resources. That way, you could still functionally use the computer to like watch YouTube, maybe play some light games or whatever. So it's gonna be. They said it was gonna be able to do some kind of scheduling like that and break the resources off.
Yeah, kind of like they carve out part of the pie on your resources to do those things. Which,
exactly.
Hey, if sounds good. You better be able to leave that PC on all the time then, you know?
Right, because if you're in the middle of a job, you know what I mean? If it takes like 2 weeks, if you want to be paid, you gotta leave it on for the 2 weeks.
No video games for King, ever.
Oh, you think I'm putting it on my daily? You're out of your mind. I'm not putting it on. Hey, I got this and I got my CPU mining rig over here. So and I got my servers. So also I happen to know a content creator who's on Coax who may or may not have access to lots of servers. So and I have lots of fiber at my house. So
listen, you ain't beating GPU risers, man.
I know that man's coming in.
Well, here's the bad thing if he tries to hook people up is if you ask him to do something with servers, he's not gonna know what you're talking about. So,
I push the power button or
yeah, so that's what you get with that. So
poor Mike. Oh, leave Mike alone. He's all right.
When a dude's got 5 gigabit up and down, there's no poor anything.
That's right.
I mean, it's not. It wasn't that expensive in relative to internet. It was like $100. What was it? $160 a month just for that. I mean, that's not terrible.
That's like regular Xfinity price for internet,
right? But like I pay 125, and I have one down and like 25 up. Like, and it's awful. And it's awful. It's just so overpriced. It's ridiculous. And I hope Xfinity said, never mind. I'm not going to say nothing.
Two 1 gigabit fiber lines coming in. I have 2 separate lines coming to my house. $70 each.
There you go. Yeah, it all comes down to what's available in the competitive market area.
Yeah. It's going to be interesting moving forward now, because now that more information comes up, I think after mining disrupt, it's going to be an onslaught. I'm going to be honest with you. As far as videos go, content creators are going to be putting out so much stuff because Flux is going to release so much stuff about it. There's going to be there's news with a few companies that are going to be dropping some stuff. I mean, it's going to be everything is going to be AI, man, processing AI. I mean, everybody's going to jump on the bandwagon, and it's going to be interesting to see what people are going to do with their rigs. So, King, I know you said you wanted to call it 10 minutes ago, so I'll go ahead and
StarCraft
lead it for you.
Okay. You can close it out for us, and I'll just hit the end button.
Okay. Well, guys, thank you so much for visiting Terrahash Tuesday on the Mining Kings YouTube channel. I said, make sure you guys hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, subscribe to the hobbyist. Patrick Guyan, I'm going to force him to make a YouTube channel. And if you bother tolerating,
hold on. There's an announcement. We'll do it. You want to do it, Patrick? Is he below me? Is this right? Yeah. You want to say anything yet, Patrick?
Now you're putting me on the spot. Let's just leave him in suspense.
All right.
With the insider information.
I love it.
Which is entirely not obvious at this point. Thank you.
I put him in the spotlight now. Now he's pressured.
Super pressure.
We're out, guys. Hobbyists, thanks so much for coming on the stream tonight, man. It was awesome. Appreciate it.
You made me.
I called you
out.
Thank you,
Mr. Hobbyist.
It was a good show. Good show. So take care, guys. Thank you. Hit the like button, subscribe. We'll see you guys on the next Terrahash Tuesday on the Hawk Crypto Mining channel. Peace.